Well, it's happened. Or it's about to happen anyways. Pewdiepie, the #1 most subscribed to YouTube channel for a long time, has lost against tseries. In case you've been living under a rock, Pewdiepie is the #1 most subscribed to YouTube channel and has been so for quite some time.
If you came here to kill me, clap your hands.
Meme review, everybody! YouTube's favorite show!
And tseries is sort of like a Bollywood musical channel. Basically, a representation of the fight between the individual and the corporation. Pewdiepie is a representation of the individual-driven internet, where a random person in their bedroom shares their ideas, their thoughts.
Welcome.
Whereas tseries represents the ongoing trend of the internet in attempting to sanitize everything and corporatize everything. Any space that individuals have managed to carve for themselves for free expression will be obliterated for the sake of being able to market more effectively. I think that is why it created so much passion in people, this battle. The fans have valiantly fought against it, and they've enlisted the help of celebrities. Say, for example, Mr. Beast bought like a billboard in Times Square, and you have Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk, and common people just throwing themselves at it, trying to get more subscribers for Pewdiepie. But in the end, this loss was inevitable. Sooner or later, Pewdiepie would not be able to compete. But we wanted to keep it as long as we could, because we all believe in that dream of freedom of expression, of being able to share our thoughts with each other. Now, I think, is a good place to start cataloging a new era of the internet, which has been evident for the last few years. And that is the rise of the corporation, which has invaded every space that we had at our disposition. Now, every space is being used to sell us something. And as a consequence, the individuals on the platform have suffered massively. They've lost visibility against well-funded channels, against television channels. They're muscling into our territory, and we've just fallen out of the wayside because we represent only a fraction of the potential income that the big corporations have. Hence, it's unsurprising that these social medias cater to the corporation. The problem is these corporations want a very sanitized internet, because if people are getting angry against each other, if people are engaging in just shit-talking each other, they're far less likely to buy something. Say, for example, if the conversation that is taking place veers far too far away from the common discourse, you won't look at the ads, you won't actually care what's being advertised, because you'll have your mind on something else. As a consequence, companies do not want actual discourse taking place. It is frankly terrifying. Corporations are now kings here. They only want discourse to happen down a very preset pattern. And I think YouTube cares more about the likes of John Oliver, Trevor Noah, or any one of those late night shows. Why? Because they bring the viewers, they bring the big bucks. Everyone else who doesn't fall into that pattern, well, it sucks to be them. So I think we are going the way of the dinosaur, because there is also a sort of unholy alliance that wishes to restrict our freedoms. There is, as we said, the corporation, but then there's also two other parties involved. First, we have the political activist, who perhaps does it from a place where they believe that they're doing genuine good, the social justice warriors, but they're not realizing that in their pursuit of their political ambitions, they are creating this tyrannical monster where nobody can actually say what they think, what they feel, for fear of getting a lynch mob summoned. Hence, I think why governments are only naturally also joining this serendipitous conspiracy. Because at the end of the day, governments don't particularly care what ideology, what flavor of the month happens to be popular today, as long as it gives it more power. If a vociferous few are saying that the internet should be censored, that it should be controlled by a more powerful entity, a more responsible entity, then naturally they'll step up. They'll want to stick their greedy hands into that pie. I think this marks the end of the internet as we know it. We've been losing these freedoms over time, but this seems to be an appropriate point to end the tale where we users were free to actually express ourselves. Because now there's starting to be policies put in place, say for example with Article 13 in Europe, which will make social media providers responsible for whatever copyright violations happen. And because this could amount to millions if not billions of dollars on a daily or monthly basis, then the social media providers have to issue restrictions on who actually gets to post. Naturally, these restrictions have to happen for everyone that doesn't have a fleet of lawyers at their disposition to prove that they own the copyright to every single thing that they have. Hence, the only ones who will actually have the freedom to post as they wish will be the giant corporations. I generally think that we'll come to look at this time with a certain nostalgia where we were able to say what we thought with little fear of repercussion. And I honestly don't know what to do about it. This just happened on accident because all their interests aligned with one another. Hence they were bouncing off of each other. And thus, they will create a sanitized internet where we don't actually have a say in what gets presented to us, but we will just have to grin and bear it. I genuinely hope that my apocalyptic visions of the internet do not come to pass, but I see little reason for why it shouldn't. And with that thought, I leave you until next time. Hopefully. Goodbye.